All right, what's good, y'all? Like I'm live. Throw my headphones on real quick. Get this going. Get this live bracking. I ain't been live in a few days. Y'all know how I do. Took a couple days off, seeing what's going on. Like I said, I try to bring y'all um, the best live streams I possibly can. You feel what I'm saying? I don't be wanting to just jump on here for the sake of going live though. So I thought about going live. I did really think about doing a live stream on Saturday though. But other than that, other than Saturday, I really didn't see any reason for me to pop out and go live though, man. But what's up, man? I hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, when y'all come in here, y'all already know, put them crowns in the chat. What's going on? To my mod in the chat early. We got a lot to talk about though. We got some stuff to talk about today, man. Pretty interesting. Now, we got all this little Durk stuff going on. We definitely gonna get into that. We got a lot of we got some Tory Lanez news. Um, it's some other stuff going on social media. I guess we're gonna get into everything that's being talked about, man. And what we got like 7 days to this election about to jump off. I don't know if y'all done pick y'all's people, but listen, this is what I said. And I ain't gonna get too deep into this. Let me take my earbud out. I ain't gonna get too deep into this, but regardless of who you decide to go with, man, just know. And I said this on a post yesterday. If you ain't grinding, if you ain't on your grind, it don't matter who get put in there. If you broke now and you ain't on your grind, you gonna be broke after the election, man. Get on your grind, man. Get up off your back pockets and get some paper, man. Pretty interesting though, man. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff, man, in a little bit of time that we got. I think I got about like 3 hours or so that I'm gonna try to stream. But with that being said, man, it took me a minute because I had to get the thumbnail together and I was just going over some topics and stuff. And I got some paperwork on a lot of different things, though, you know what I mean, that I really wanted to discuss and talk about, man. There's some pretty interesting narratives being put out there. One of the things that I found to be pretty interesting was the Tory Lanez situation. Now, last week, let me see, do I got it on here? Is it on the Instagram page? Because last week, Tory Lanez actually had some paperwork filed in a court, in a higher court, and they accepted it, right? Now, I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. This whole time, this whole Tory Lanez incident or situation been going on, man, I really been feeling like Tory was not guilty, and I could have been wrong about that. That's just my opinion, right? I really felt like it was more to what happened with Tory than what was being said. And I got the paperwork, and we're gonna pull that up in a second too. But from the beginning, there was like a lot of inconsistencies in Meg the Stallion stories and stuff. Um, you know, people were saying one thing and then saying another. Certain people weren't able to testify. I think it was like the lawyer allegedly didn't have him do a lot of different DNA samples on what actually happened. Like somebody in the chat said, seems like he had bad representation, and we're gonna get into the representation as well, right? But we put up a post a couple days ago, right? And it says an update per his legal team. The appellate court just accepted Tory Lanez's claim, actual innocence claim, or whatever. It says basically this means that the Attorney General has ordered to respond to the latest legal petition filed by Daystar Peterson and his legal team asking the court to review if his imprisonment is lawful. The court will consider this new petition together with an ongoing appellate that is already in progress. The Attorney General has to submit their response before November 20th, 2024. So really, this thing is going to happen pretty fast. I think the first is what? this week. Today is the 29th, 30, 31st. So really, this will be coming up in like the next, let's just say 3 weeks or whatever. He should hear something within the next 3 weeks. It says that the Attorney General has to submit their response on or before November 20th, 2024, and Tory's legal team will have a chance to reply after that. Now, like I said, I got the paperwork and everything. We can kind of go over and see what all is being said. Let me see. It's like 20 some pages, so we ain't damn sure ain't gonna read every single page. All right, this is just basically about their petition, his 14th Amendment right to due process. It cites a older case or whatever. It states about him, I'm just skimming through it. It states about him having invalid incarcerated at the California Correctional State Institution, Kern County, California, basically where he remains. All right, and then it goes into the conviction on December 23rd, 2022. It talks about the conviction by jury on count 1, and it goes into what he's in jail for. All right, let's see. Statements of relevant facts. Okay, the following facts are derived from the underlying trial and from new evidence that was just brought to fruition less than 1 month from the writing. It says a full statement of facts is contained within Petitioner Peterson's ongoing brief and his writ of. All right, hold on. Let's keep going down. Miss Meg Pete, Miss Kelsey Harris were traveling from a pool party where they had consumed numerous alcoholic drinks. A verbal altercation ensued, and the vehicle pulled over. This situation culminated in a hammer being discharged in the direction of the ground. Miss Pete sustained injuries to her feet. Bigfoot. However, she first claimed that these injuries had been caused by broken glass and not from a ricocheting slug fragments, as was later charged. All right, so then it goes into, let me drop this down too. So then it goes into Miss Pete testified that it was the petitioner who caused the injuries, yet she gave conflicting statements as, okay, so yeah, we talked about the conflicting statements. It says because she was embarrassed, traumatized, and scared of the police due to the recent George Floyd incident. That's what she claimed. All right, and then Miss Harris, which is Kelsey, invoked her right to not self-incriminate at the trial, to which she was offered immunity in exchange for her testimony. Despite such, Miss Harris still testified that she could not remember most of the questions posed. This allowed the people to move for admittance of prior statements made by Miss Harris in an interview by the prosecution. This 80-minute statement was played in its entirety to the jury without the defense ever receiving a transcript of such prior to the trial. That's crazy. Damn, so they played that whole statement so I really I followed this trial from afar. Like, okay, I would just see the news clips or see the post that was put on social media, and I would just see, okay, day 2 of the trial, this is what's happening. It's looking like Tory might get out of this. Or day 3 of the trial, it didn't go so good. Day 4 of the trial, the guy who came outside and was yelling and seeing, he said one thing, but now he's recanting what he said. You know what I mean? So I really didn't follow the trial to the point where I know all of this detail. So as I read some of this paperwork, some of this stuff, I kind of checked out on the Tory Lanez trial because I felt like it was BS from the beginning. And I just feel like arguing with a lot of people because you had a lot of women from the community who was saying Tory needed to go to jail and he did this without really knowing all of the facts of the case. And I didn't want to argue with them my opinion because I didn't necessarily have all the facts either, but it was always my opinion that Tory didn't do what they claiming that he did. So anyway, here we go with the neighbor. A neighbor who was awoken by the shouting witness, Miss Sean Kelly, of the witness, Mr. Sean Kelly, testified that from the balcony of his home, his son and he saw a woman actually in an altercation and two men breaking it up. So the girls was out there fighting. I remember that part. Then they saw somebody bust that hammer, and it came from the passenger side of the car near the second woman. Miss Smith provided a statement contained in the petitioner Peterson's prior habeas corpus. He swore that as he pulled over the vehicle, Miss Pete and Miss Harris began to fight. Then Mr. Smith clarified that while he pulled Miss Pete to the back of the vehicle, he saw Miss Harris with the hammer in her possession, as basically Tory Lanez ran from behind him towards Kelsey Harris. Mr. Smith stated that when he and Miss Pete reached the back of the vehicle, he did not see who actually busted the weapon in question. Now, I've always said this though, and because like a lot of people look at this street stuff a lot different. We got to understand that a lot of people look at this street stuff a lot different, and not everybody is willing to, you know, like tell on people. Like Tory Lanez possibly didn't want to go into court and just point the finger at Kelsey and say that Kelsey did it. I've always thought that Kelsey was the one who shot Meg, but I think Meg was so mad at Tory Lanez and some of the phone calls that Tory Lanez possibly made and some of the things that he possibly said to them afterwards. At some point, he became the person that was being blamed for doing all of this stuff, right? All right, anyway. Let's get back into the paperwork real quick. Jesus. So basically, he filed this petition, and that's basically where we at, man. I really ain't gonna go into all of this paperwork. I really wanted to go down to the bottom and see what they're saying. Basically, the people's failure to preserve the firearm for testing by the defense violates the petitioner's right to due process of law under the 5th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the Constitution. So basically, he's been blaming a lot of this stuff on his lawyer. Now, the lawyer has come out and spoke about this. Just to fast forward on this thing. And let me find that real quick. I got it up here. I got to pay more attention to my Instagram page. All right. So, according to Tory Lanez, and there's a TMZ article on this. According to Tory Lanez, his attorney allegedly was affiliated with Roc Nation at one time. They're going to get these cats out. That's the crazy part about it. We're going to talk about that another day. Tory Lanez. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I'm messing this up. All right. Here we go. So Tory Lanez, Sean Hawley, which is his attorney, denies allegations and ethics complaint. So basically what's being said is that she actually somehow worked for Meg Thee Stallion and Roc Nation. And in other words, she actually blew his trial deliberately in favor of Meg Thee Stallion and Roc Nation. But let's read this article. It says, Attorney Sean Hawley is strongly denying allegations Tory Lanez brought in an ethics complaint filed with the State Bar of California last week. Now, it says TMZ has learned of a letter sent by Hawley's counselor to the State Bar in November of 2023 saying in no uncertain terms that Hawley has no relationship whatsoever with Roc Nation. The letter goes on to emphasize Miss Hawley has never represented Roc Nation, nor has Roc Nation ever been a client of our law firm. Now, in my opinion, that really don't matter. That doesn't necessarily prove that there's not a connection between them. There might not be a a legal representation, like being a lawyer for Roc Nation or her, but that doesn't mean they're not working together. What do they call that? Working in concert behind the scenes. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's possible that this could have been, because we know Roc Nation wanted him in jail. Like it's no mystery. Like Jay-Z was behind like a lot of the blackballing that has went on and probably is still going on with even Chris Brown. You feel what I'm saying? So Jay-Z is one of those type of people, when he has it out for you, he's going to do whatever he possibly can to get that revenge or get back or try to stop you from being successful or getting money. You know what I mean? So he definitely, I feel like Roc Nation definitely was behind a lot of this stuff with Tory Lanez. Now it says, as for Tory's allegations, Holly abandoned him at a critical point of his trial. In one of his previous court filings, Tory revealed emails between Holly and himself, which made it clear she did not want to move forward with a completely new and different defense, that she was unwilling to advance, and also that she had a scheduling conflict with the trial date. Holly's attorney letter to the state bar reaffirms both of these facts. It also says Tory is ripping his former attorney in a formal ethics complaint. I think this is another part of the actual complaint. Now, like I said, one of the things that he was upset about, or that he's pointing out, is that he cited a Hulu series called Reasonable Doubt as a source of her conflict of interest. He says Holly served as one of the principal producers on the show, which is loosely based on her life as a celebrity attorney. It says Megan and Beyonce's Grammy Award-winning collab Savage remix was featured in season 2 of the show as a track from Holly's daughters, Nyana, who has sung backup for Beyonce in the past. Let me see. Tory says Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez was allowed to assist Meg in giving police statements, and claimed Holly left him high and dry when she quit representing him on December 18th, just 5 days before the guilty verdict. Wow. But after Tory says he paid her between $200,000 and $300,000 to retain her services. Tory says his refusal to take a guilty plea caused Holly to neglect fighting for his innocence, including by allegedly telling his DNA expert not to perform extensive studies on the GUN after he insisted he never touched it. It also says Tory believes Holly was acting on the orders of Roc Nation to force him to plead out, and when it didn't work, she withdrew under the pretense that a witness accused her of bribery, to the effect that her testimony on Tory's behalf, and it also says, which Tory says was never true. He wanted his money back too. He complained to the California bar. He also asking for some of his paper back. We're gonna see how this happens. I'm gonna be honest with y'all though. I actually really think that Tory Lanez is gonna end up getting out of jail. I don't think he's gonna do all the time. I don't know how much time they gave Tory though. I can't remember how much he was exactly how much time he was sentenced to. I know it's like 10 years, or let me see. Yeah, he got 10 years in prison. So I really don't I don't know if he got somewhere else it said 13 though, but whatever. At the end of the day, I don't think that Tory Lanez is gonna have to do the entire 10 years in prison. I really feel like one of these appeals is gonna get heard, and he may end up just getting out after serving that time. Now, what does that actually mean? If Tory Lanez is actually free from prison and like a sentence is overturned, and it's not refiled or nothing like that, at some point, we're basically like in the court's eye, he was proven innocent. How does that work out for like Meg Thee Stallion and Roc Nation? You know what I mean? Like, what does that look like for them? Because now we're talking about like somebody who's been locked up for what? How long has he going on? 2 years or something like that? Almost 3 years. How long Tory been in jail? Since 2020, the end of 2022, I think. December, I think, was when he got sentenced or whatever. Cause they took him to jail right after that. Right after the sentencing. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Like we talking about like lost wages and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how does that look for Meg Thee Stallion? Because I'm trying to think like, well, who pays for the lost wages? Is she responsible for that? You know what I mean? Because she did get on the stand and actually testify to say that he did said, things that he was actually accused of doing. Or does the court have to pay for that? Like somebody gonna have to come up off of some money. I would think. I would think, as well as now, like, is there a defamation of character lawsuit that Meg probably could be responsible for? You know what I mean? So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. But like I said, what I do believe is at some point, one of these court filings that Tory Lanez has put out, I believe that at some point it's gonna turn into him being released from jail. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean on that. But let's go back to the Instagram page. What else we got, man? It's a new lawsuit filed against Diddy, man. And there's some crazy allegations in this. Is this one of the let me see, is this one of the ones that I got? Cuz I got some paperwork, some Diddy paperwork. I'm trying to see. No, this ain't. I think I might have. Oh, here we go. All right, let me see. I got some new Diddy paperwork, and I'm trying to see where do I start with that at. Now, it was a gag order. They actually put a gag order on Diddy. To stop them from actually talking to, they wanted, no, they didn't put a gag order. They was asking to put a gag order on the case. They petitioned the court for that, but I believe that it was denied. I believe they denied it. They denied that. But let me see where this complaint is at. Is this the new one? Ah, man, we got so much paperwork, man. I can't even tell you which one this is though. Yeah, this one is a male though. So a new male, there's a new male plaintiff against Diddy. And let's see if I can get to like the part where it talks about what happened. All right, factual allegations. Here we go. This was somebody who was only 17 years old too. It talks about this person. It says Making the Band was a reality TV show that aired on various networks, including MTV from 2000 to 2009. The show created later produced by Combs, followed the formation of music groups through a competitive audition process. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's get down to what's being said. In or around 2008, plaintiff, then 17 years old, participated in a 3-day audition for Making the Band. Having seen the opportunity online and through a newspaper advertisements. During the audition process, plaintiff advanced to a stage where contestants met individually in private rooms with Combs and bodyguards. Let's see. We got an update right here real quick. We cool on them. One day after the audition, during a one-on-one interview, Combs asked the plaintiff a hypothetical question about handling situations involving sexual pressure. As Combs described these scenarios, he began to sexually essay the plaintiff by touching the plaintiff both over and under his clothing, including groping and fondling his manhood, and instructing the plaintiff to undress while groping. The plaintiff comes engaged in sexually explicit behavior, including beating his meat. Throughout this encounter, Combs emphasized his power to control plaintiff's future in the music industry, stating that he had the ability to make or break the plaintiff's career. On the second day, the plaintiff went through a longer interview process. So this is where I be having an issue when I be reading this paperwork and stuff, right? And I think we're gonna get to this other one where he accused of drugging and RAPing this 10-year-old. That's what we're gonna get to. But so, and this is why I just gotta be honest about everything that I say about these cases. So I'm supposed to believe that Diddy did this to you, and then you was there for a second day. You stayed there for a second day, which is crazy to me. Why would I? If I felt violated on the first day, why is there even a second day? On the second day, the plaintiff went through a longer interview process. During this interview, Combs again instructed the plaintiff to basically take off his clothes again, explaining that the plaintiff needed to demonstrate the ability to embody a SCX idol persona, which was purportedly required for the band's image. I'm not saying that none of this happened, right? What I'm saying is that if I didn't like it, why would I still be there? That's all that I'm saying. Why would I allow myself to be subject to it a second time? Why would I don't get that. You know what I mean? All right. It says Combs continued to reiterate that his power to control the plaintiff's future in the music industry. Oh, I forgot this part too. It says this encounter eventually escalated into Combs forcing the plaintiff to perform oral sex on him and Combs sodomizing the plaintiff. Wow. On the third day, so this is days. This isn't a week past. I'm guessing this is 1, 2, 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, now it's Wednesday. On the third day, Combs introduced his bodyguard T into the actual sexual advances. Combs framed this as a test to the plaintiff's willingness to do anything necessary to succeed in the music industry. T requested oral SES from the plaintiff, and while the plaintiff complied due to force, Combs essayed plaintiff again, simultaneously groping and fondling both plaintiff and the bodyguard. Do y'all be believing this stuff though, man? How long we been on? 20 some minutes. All right. It also says the plaintiff's facial expressions during the ordeal showed his discomfort and hesitation, prompting Combs to express dissatisfaction. Combs stated that the plaintiff's demeanor suggested an intention to report the incidents. As a result, Combs said he would be keeping an eye on the plaintiff. Unfortunately, this led to the plaintiff's elimination from the competition, as Combs claimed the plaintiff was untrustworthy due to his reservations about performing oral SEX on his bodyguard. As a result of these assaults during the audition process, the plaintiff's reactions to them, the plaintiff was excluded from further opportunities in the competition and was unable to return to the music industry for 7 years. All right. Okay. And basically all of this is basically from Tony Busby, right? This guy who has 1,000 people calling him a day on this hotline he created. All right, and then there's another one. Is this the one with the? Here's another one where basically I want to say it's being. Let me see. Is it the same attorney filing this one too? Yep, he filed this one too. Let's see what Diddy is being accused of in this one. Diddy, it says defendant Combs drugged and essayed a 17-year-old young man at a hotel party. This case seeks compensatory and punitive damages for the essay. The assault took place at a hotel penthouse in Manhattan. During the party hosted by defendant Sean Combs, the conduct described herein is shocking, typically of how defendant Sean Combs has conducted himself for many years. So let's see. We're going to go down and find it. You know, we ain't going to read all of that. We're just going to go down and find, I don't even want to say meat and potatoes. Hit the like button, though. Parties. Let me see who all getting sued. All right, it's cool. Where's the complaint at? Where is it? Where they say? All right, factual allegations. In 2022, John Doe, a then 17-year-old aspiring artist, hoped to break into the music industry. You know, and this is what all of them are saying. All of them are saying that they hope to break into the music industry. A separate individual with ties to Combs and his music and business enterprises recruited Doe to attend a party at a penthouse in Manhattan hotel. It also says that the recruiter promised the event would be filled with artists and industry celebrities and professionals, providing an opportunity for plaintiff to promote himself. The recruiter assured Doe that he would have a chance to connect with influential industry leaders who had paved the way for his advancement. It also says Doe, eager for the opportunity, saw the party as a chance to network and create connections and advance his career as an artist. Now, when this person said they arrived at the penthouse, they said they immediately noticed Diddy among other well-known musicians and industry persons. It also says Diddy greeted Doe and offered him a drink. Trusting the gesture, Doe accepted the drink, made small talk regarding the industry, and Combs assured Doe that he could make him a star. Shortly after, Doe began feeling strange. He felt dizzy, weak, and confused, far beyond from what he would expect from having consumed a single drink. It became clear to him that something was wrong. He realized later that he had been drugged. A photograph of an actual they said it was a container used by Combs and his agent's employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. What? But how did they get this picture though? So basically, this is a picture of I like when they add pictures to the like paperwork though. It make it a little more interesting. But so we are to believe that this is actually a picture, and this picture came from where? Like I'm trying to figure out where did this picture come from. Who got the picture? Who took the picture of this stuff right here? Anyway, realizing something was wrong, Doe staggered towards another room of the penthouse, searching for the restroom, but found himself somewhere else. Once in the courtroom, he witnessed multiple people engaging in group, you know what, including Combs and another artist he recognized after Doe entered the room. Combs approached him, grabbed him, and led him to the bed, forcing him to lay down on the bed against his will. It also says Combs moved directly next to Doe on the bed while others laid next to them, engaging in sexual activities during the oral and sexual penetration. Combs grabbed Doe's manhood with his hands, Combs manipulated Doe. He manipulated Doe's balls. Okay, I guess that's the best way I can say it. For an extended period of time, trying to get him aroused. Doe was not aroused, but was instead scared and disgusted. Doe told Combs that the reason he couldn't get aroused is because he needed to use the restroom. Combs permitted him to go get up off the bed, as Combs then turned his back to the others in the bed and rejoined the group's activities. From the bedroom, Doe called a friend to come pick him up and immediately left the Manhattan hotel. Combs continued with the party as if nothing happened. For Doe, everything changed. So basically, I think that was the only incident right there with this person. This goes into a whole bunch of other bullshit. I don't believe none of these. Like these cases that this dude is bringing, I really don't believe him. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't believe him. And this is another lawsuit that was brought against Diddy. We ain't gonna get too deep into the Diddy stuff because I want to get into this Lil Durk stuff, but I did kind of want to stop and talk about this and the Tory Lanez. Now the crazy part about this one, this individual is claiming that they was only 10 years old at the time. Was interested in becoming an actor and a rapper or whatever. To help the son's career, the plaintiff's parents found and hired an industry consultant through the internet ad. Let's just kind of skim all the way down. They ended up meeting with Combs at some point, and it also says that the consultant brought the plaintiff, which is the young man that was supposed to be 10, into Combs' room, but left with Combs and told the plaintiff she would be back later. The plaintiff recalls people in the room or area, but he didn't know who any of the people were. I guess the plaintiff performed several rap songs for Combs. Combs told the plaintiff, that the rapping was good for his age. He was going to make him a star. And how badly he wanted to make the little dude a star or whatever. At this point, one of the other people present gave him a soda, which he drank. After drinking the soda, he said he began to feel a little funny, but initially thought it was because he was happy at the moment. Based on the information, believes that Combs, by himself through people who was with him, basically gave him some GHB back in 2000 and whenever. Here we go with another syringe. Where I don't know where they getting this stuff from though. These photos. I don't know how this individual getting the photos. It does says that after he drunk the soda though, that Combs told the plaintiff to move closer to him, which the plaintiff did. Combs then abruptly pushed the plaintiff down and said words to the effect of, "You have to do some stuff you don't want to do sometimes." Once he had pushed the plaintiff down, it says Combs pulled out his you-know-what out of his pants and told the 10-year-old to kiss it. Man, come on, man. I ain't gonna read it verbatim. I'm gonna skim through this. This is crazy. It says when the plaintiff woke up, because I guess he ended up losing conscience, but I guess when he woke up, he began crying, saying, basically like his pants was down and his backside hurt badly. I guess Diddy was still there. The plaintiff cried, said he wanted to go to his mom and dad. Combs replied that the plaintiff told anyone about what happened, he would hurt the plaintiff's mom and dad badly. I really don't. I don't really believe this. At the end of the day, something ain't right about this, man. I don't know, but those are the Diddy files that we had. Like I said, I really ain't gonna go too much into that. We also had some 6ix9ine news, which I don't think nobody care about that. I think most of the people that's gonna tap in about Durk. But according to reports on Inner City Press, Snitch 9 has been arrested. There that is. That's the news on that. All right. With that being said, man, Durk actually went to court a couple of days ago. What was that? Yesterday, I want to say. His girl, India, she was spotted, being there for her man. A lot of people were speculating how long is she gonna wait for Durk or whatever. That's neither here nor there. I don't think that's a question. I think like when people be asking like is somebody gonna wait for somebody while they locked up, that's kind of like a immature that's like an immature question to ask. The real question is this though. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The real question is this: is she gonna hold him down while he's in jail? And what I mean by hold him down, is she actually gonna still support him? Because I said this a couple of days ago. You know what I mean? I talked about this whole thing a couple of days ago. Let me see. What's dude name? OTF Jam. I'm about to spell that wrong. All right. I had to change that up real quick. All right, so I think that the wrong questions to ask is India gonna stand by his side or is she gonna be there? I think the real question of this, y'all, is she gonna be there to support him however he needs support? If he needs financial support, if he needs mental support, or whatever, will she still be there for that? Because you can't expect anybody, man or woman, to actually be there. Dang, that's my post. I got 109 likes on it. Jesus. You can't expect a man or a woman to actually wait for somebody for the type of time that they talking about that Durk is looking at. Now, will Durk get that type of time? I don't know. That's yet to be seen because there's some stuff with the case that I really feel isn't as quite open and shut as you would think. Yeah, it's not as open and shut as people think it is. So let's get into some of the things that I've like been looking at. Let me see. That I've been looking at, you know what I mean, and I really don't feel like I watched the interview with it was like an interview or something with an attorney. I think it was like Drake's attorney at some point. Here we go. Let's check this video out real quick. Let's get to this real fast. And listen to some of the things that was said in this real quick.
Federally indicted, and these charges couldn't be more serious. The government claims that rapper Lil Durk ordered a hit on arrival in retaliation for the death of a close friend. The U.S. attorney calls it a cold-blooded murder. The twists and turns of this case can get a little public of the risks. Sidebar to answer less than 10 questions and check your eligibility for the country. Prosecutors are artists to talk, answer less than 10 questions, and check your eligibility to file a claim. Okay, so it's time to talk about this legal trouble that's now facing Grammy Award-winning rap artist Lil Durk because he was arrested in Florida and charged with being part of a murder conspiracy that crisscrossed the country. Prosecutors allege that the rapper ordered a hit from Chicago on a man in Los Angeles. So it's a little bit of a convoluted story, but we're going to try to make sense of it for you. We have 32-year-old Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks. He started his rise to fame in 2010 when he started a rap collective called Only the Family, or OTF. His most well-known songs are All My Life with J. Cole, Broadway Girls with Morgan Wallen. His featured part in Drake's Laugh Now, Cry Later has really brought him up to attention. But last week, U.S. Marshals had stopped Banks.
It's funny when I be hearing like these people try to like like describe like some like Dirk's or somebody's Durk or somebody's career or whatever, that'd be kind of funny sometimes, man. Like hearing him try to describe like what brought Durk to fame. Like y'all might know these All My Life songs, y'all might know the Morgan Wallen songs, y'all might not know that, but or y'all might know the song that he did with Drake, but Durk's catalog is fucking crazy, man. Like I don't know, I might just be saying that because I'm a fan, but Durk got some of the he got some of the most consistent music for like 5 or 6 different projects like in a row, like to where if you like Durk, you really ain't even skipping too many songs.
From leaving the country at a Florida airport and booked him into the Broward County Jail. He had been indicted on a charge of conspiracy to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death. He's also been hit with weapons charges, too. These are federal charges, by the way. Very, very serious charges. We'll talk more about it. But we've gotten our hands on an affidavit from an FBI agent who was investigating Banks' connection to what was this brazen shooting at an LA gas station. And we also have the indictment from the Central District of California. So we're going to be taking information from both documents. And now, because the court documents refer to the people involved in this case by their birth names, we're going to do the same. We'll talk about that in a second. But to get into this, I want to bring in celebrity defense attorney, friend of the show, Bradford Cohen, to talk more about this. Bradford, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. We have another rap star taken into custody on some pretty serious charges.
Now, this attorney right here, this is supposed to, I guess he's supposed to have represented Drake at one time or something like that. Like, he didn't represent like some high profile, like rappers as well as like entertainers and stuff. And just rich people in general who was charged with like some serious crimes.
Very different than the Sean Combs case, which we've been talking so much about. Just what are your initial thoughts on the indictment, the affidavit, these initial documents, and the initial allegations alleged by prosecutors?
So I think that when we look at the indictment itself, what's so interesting is, you know, and this happens quite often, they don't put all and everything that they have in the indictment because they don't have to, right? Either less is more for an assistant U.S. attorney or the U.S. attorney's office. And in this case, I think that's what they did. They gave them enough to know that they know what's going on, but not enough to know everything that's going on. I think obviously there's been some rumors that there's been a snitch among his group that has been wearing a wire for some time.
All right, let me stop there. I want to stop there about this whole little like situation. That is exactly what he said it is. Rumor. All right, and we're going to let them continue to talk about that, and I'm going to get into like some other posts and show like, you know, why I know that the whole thing as far as Jam allegedly wearing the wire, I'm going to show y'all where that rumor came from and why people associated Jam with this whole wire situation. But let's keep going.
And if that's the case, it's going to be a very difficult case for everyone involved, depending on how much talking there was going on. What I thought was interesting with the indictment is, you know, a lot of things around Durk basically revolve around funding that he paid for airport, he paid for flights, he paid for hotels, he paid for car rentals, all these things that they utilized in this, you know, quote unquote murder for hire plot. So that's really where they're tying him in right now. But I think there's going to be more to come. And I think that there's going to be individuals that either will flip or that have already flipped, or there's going to be someone very close to him that was wearing a wire that would be willing to testify as to his involvement. Because his involvement right now is kind of tangentially involved,
right?
Where he's the funder, but there's no direct allegation that he said, hey, this is what I want done. There's an allegation that he spoke in code and he could have said this and all these different things, but there's no allegation that says, hey, this is what he said and this is what was going to happen.
And to be clear, when we're talking about this, obviously there are multiple people involved. You can't have a conspiracy unless there are several people involved, especially something like this.
Sure.
So although Banks might be the most famous of the names that are called out in the indictment, he's not the only one. I'm going to list them out. In the indictment, we have Kevon London Grant, we have DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, we have Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston. And the indictment also names 5 co-conspirators, with Banks being one of them. In the indictment, he's referred to by his initials DB, or co-conspirator 1. So here's a little bit of background on this case. And it really starts in 2020, because that is when Banks was with his friend and fellow Chicago rapper King Von at an Atlanta nightclub. And Von had apparently got into a fight with a Georgia rapper known as Quando Rondo. A friend of Rondo's allegedly pulled out a gun and shot King Von, killing him. Now, authorities say that Banks and his rap collective, OTF.
See, there's some stuff being said in this too, y'all, and I'm gonna let it play or whatever, but we're gonna stop it and react to what's being said. There's some stuff being said in this video that I disagree with. So, from what I know and from what other people have been saying online and social media, I think one of them being even what's her name? King Von's girlfriend, Asian doll, or let me see. See if I was on. She actually came on and she spoke out about this, and she was kind of upset that they were saying that he was taken out by, Lil Tim. And from what I remember, what I can recall after the findings, for one, the case was dismissed. For two, a lot of people were saying that, the police actually did it. It wasn't her, it wasn't him. You feel what I'm saying? But on here, they keep saying it. I just know what I know. You know what I mean? That's it. But we're gonna let them keep going.
The one that I mentioned, they wanted retribution. They wanted payback. So he allegedly made it known that he would pay a bounty for anyone who killed Rondo, who's, by the way, his real name is Taekwon Bowman. Now, in the court documents, he's named as TB. I know there's a lot of different names here, but stick with me. We're going to try to make sense of this. So investigators say that in 2022, so this is 2 years after that Atlanta shooting of King Von, a plan came together to kill Bowman. The criminal complaint that was filed against Banks includes an affidavit from an FBI agent, and she gives her summary of probable cause. The affidavit reads in part, quote, Banks is the leader of the Chicago-based rap collective known as Only the Family, or OTF. In addition to OTF's status as a rap collective, I know...
Yeah, I'm still being cheap. Hold on. I'm still being cheap out here in these streets.
That OTF also acts as an association, in fact, of individuals who engage in violence, including murder and assault, at the direction of Banks and to maintain their status in OTF. For example, based on evidence collected during the investigation, including the interview of one of witnesses, I know that Banks put a monetary bounty out for an individual with whom Banks was feuding, named TB. And then there's a footnote at the bottom of that page that reads, due to serious safety concerns, this affidavit does not provide the identity of these witnesses. Based on the FBI's investigation, I know that witnesses and or their family members have already received threats and or have been contacted in what appears to be attempts to influence their participation in this investigation.
Now listen, because y'all know I read the paperwork online. Like, so when I think about everything that I read, and I go back to, and I hear like stuff like that, right? That leads me to believe something that I've heard other podcasters say as well, that Durk actually knew that this day was coming. He might not have knew when, but Durk knew at some point he would be arrested. Because I want to say this paperwork came out like the day or day after they arrested Durk. So once this paperwork drops, they already had this information that witnesses have already been contacted. Think about it. Everybody that got arrested the same day. I honestly believe that he has some, according, if this paperwork is real, and you gotta think about this too. The feds, they be actually putting a lot of different stuff out there, so we can take some of the stuff that they say with a grain of salt. But ultimately, though, if they're saying this leads me to believe that he had to know that they was coming.
What do you make of that, Bradford?
So it's basic. You know, like a lot of these allegations, you can almost take each one of these and put them into every case that we've seen as of late, where witnesses are either contacted or witnesses are offered a monetary amount not to testify. And sometimes that comes with a civil case. You know, like if there's a civil matter that's outstanding, they might say, hey, listen, there's a civil matter that you could have, and we're going to give you a settlement of XYZ. The feds automatically take that as you're buying off a witness. So it just depends on the facts of those circumstances. Like I've seen it many times where the feds read into it differently than you would if you just read it yourself, wherein people are trying to be influenced. A friend of a friend might contact you and say like, hey, listen, this isn't a good idea to be a witness in a federal case. The feds take that as, oh, hey, this is, you know, Bob Smith influencing this witness because he's friends with this person who's friends with that person. A lot of times that doesn't shake out the way that they put it in the indictment. And they put that in the indictment specifically for bond purposes, right?
Somebody in the chat said Ruler is losing sleep. His boyfriend is locked up.
So when you go in for bond, they say, hey, listen, this guy's trying to influence everybody, and here's all these things. But when you actually get into the case, sometimes those things don't shake out, and then it's already too late because you already moved for bond and you didn't get bond.
That's the same thing that's happening with Sean Combs. I mean, well, that's
Correct.
a little different because he's not charged specifically with obstruction, but it's part of the racketeering count. I read this indictment. I didn't see anything that Lil Durk is charged specifically with obstruction or witness tampering. It's more the conspiracy. There's also federal weapons charges. So does that give you pause too that he's not, I mean, again, maybe I'm wrong, that he wasn't directly charged with anything like witness tampering, obstruction?
Yeah, it always gives me pause. Whenever the feds throw an indictment in, it gives me pause right away because a lot of times you'll see in the indictment, there's a lot of accusations in the indictment that when you start getting into it and it starts kind of flushing out the facts, they stretch what could be a basic fact, they stretch it into something that it's not. And I've seen this time and time again. So in this case, it could be individuals that are loosely associated with OTF or that is signed to the label or something else that has contacted a witness, and they're trying to put whatever they did onto Durk Banks.
Now I can actually see that happening though. I can actually see, but again though, how do they know who these witnesses are though? You feel what I'm saying? Like, who's giving them the info? Who would be? Because Durk ain't been able to call home. How the hell would they actually be able to get the information?
So that's the issue here, right? Is that they're just lumping them all together. They'll just say, hey, listen, you know, because this guy did that, obviously Durk is the quote unquote leader of OTF. He must have known what was going on. Therefore, he shouldn't get a bond because this is a dangerous gang and etc. You notice they stopped short of saying this is a dangerous gang and said this is a dangerous association of individuals that known as OTF.
That may come out eventually, right? But like what people gotta understand is that OTF or Durk's circle is like made up of people from various neighborhoods, or because I don't want to say gangs, but let's just say for the sake of it, when I say neighborhoods, I'm talking about gangs, right? So for the sake of conversation, OTF is made up of different neighborhoods that are allied through their relationship with Durk. Like, not saying that the different neighborhoods are not necessarily allies, but Durk is the main person in the center of this, that all of them are, you know, associated with him or associated with each other through their relationship with Durk. So some of the people are from neighborhoods, right? But some of these people serve different like jobs. Like some of them become like road managers. Some of them have become like daily assistants. Some of them are like day-to-day managers. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the manager you would contact to book for shows and stuff like that, or manage his rap career, or you know what I mean? But some of them may just be his day-to-day manager, making sure he gets to like his meetings, answering phone calls, making sure the cars that they traveling in are there on time, making sure the security, the proper security is with them. You know what I mean? Like it's so he's basically given opportunity to a lot of people from the inner city of Chicago who he may be associated with, who may or may not actually be a part of these neighborhoods and or gangs. You know what I mean? And it's individuals that's in this specific case with him who's been named, such as OTF Vonnie, who may not necessarily be like one of the guys who was spinning the block and like doing skits and stuff like that back in the day, but he just happens to be from a neighborhood, or he's from the rack, he's from Chicago. It's somebody who Durk actually gave an opportunity to. And when they paint this picture, when the feds is gonna paint this picture, they're gonna be careful about calling OTF a gang, but at the same time, just because they're not calling OTF a gang doesn't mean they can't say that the actual record label wasn't operating in a criminal manner to the point where y'all OTF, y'all may not be a gang, but y'all have been operating as a organized crime syndicate. You see what I'm saying? Because what a lot of people is insinuating now is that eventually this is going to lead, or this possibly could lead to a RICO charge. Not saying that it is. I'm just giving y'all like what's being talked about throughout, social media and stuff like that.
Which I thought was interesting because generally speaking, when it comes to any of these rap groups, so like, there's OTF and YNW and YSL, and they all say like, hey, all of these nicknames, this is all a gang. And even though it's a record label, it's also a gang. And that's kind of their argument with every single one of these. And that's going to be their argument here. But I thought it was interesting in the indictment, it didn't specifically say gang. It said an association of individuals that go under OTF. I thought that was kind of interesting because I don't know what kind of evidence they have to say OTF is or is not a gang legally.
And when you compare, and I'm glad he brought like YSL and YNW and stuff like that. When you compare those specific artists and their collective or their labels to OTF, OTF is a far more sophisticated label versus those other ones. When you think about YSL, YSL was really, really like doing stuff in the streets parallel to what was going on in the studio or the record label. As YSL, I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think OTF is actually operating in the streets of Chicago like as a movement, as a unit or a gang. Like from what some of the snitches that was on trial for the YSL situation, a lot of them said that Young Slime Life was actually operating as a gang outside of the record label from what Thug and them was doing. Thug and them was actually doing the label, the company, and stuff like that. But you had individuals who was actually claiming YSL at the same time as a gang on the streets. I don't necessarily think that people are just claiming OTF. Most of the people that's a part of OTF that's from like a neighborhood, you feel what I'm saying? They still rep their neighborhoods. You know what I mean? They're still like Lamron or whatever, TTE, you know what I mean? All these other, THF, all these other groups that they associated with, 600, even with, King Von, O Block, you know what I mean? They still represented their neighborhoods. So I think the feds, if they've been doing their homework and they got somebody snitching and telling, I'm pretty sure the person who's been snitching and telling them actually was telling them that as well.
The legal definition.
I thought it was PTSD from the YSL trial. Let's not rush to call anything a gang because of all the trouble there. That's a separate conversation. We can have a long talk about that. Okay, but this I think could be problematic for Lil Durk, and I'll get into this because on the morning of October 24th, we have federal and local law enforcement. They execute these search warrants in Chicago. They arrest Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston. And that is when they learned that Banks had booked multiple flights that were leaving the country. The affidavit says the FBI received notifications from U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing that Banks had been booked as a passenger on 2 international flights, a one-way flight from Miami to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, connecting through Doha, Qatar, scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th, and one-way flight from Fort Lauderdale to Switzerland, connecting via New Jersey, also scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th. Now, Banks didn't board either flight, but at approximately 6:40 p.m., the FBI received an additional CBP notification that Banks had been booked as a passenger on a private plane departing Miami and destined for Italy, scheduled to depart at approximately 9 p.m. At approximately 8 p.m., Banks was arrested by law enforcement in the vicinity of the departing airport. So, Bradford, I mean, that seems to be evidence that he might have been trying to leave the country. You tell me what you make of that.
So, I make a couple different things of that. So the first part of that is all the countries that he has. That Dubai is going to extradite you. Switzerland's going to extradite you. These countries are going to extradite. You know, the only places that don't extradite are like you go to Vietnam, you go to Morocco. There's certain countries that don't extradite, like strictly don't extradite. All these other countries, even if they don't have a treaty with the U.S. for extradition, they're going to extradite because they rely on the U.S. for money. They rely on the U.S. for support.
So I remember we talked about this, man, and I was saying something similar, that I felt that he would get deported or sent back, extradited from like Dubai. But then I did look up the information because somebody in the chat was telling me like, nah, like they don't have an extradition treaty or whatever with the United States agreement or whatever. But from what this lawyer is saying, they would send them back anyway. I think that, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I don't know if I can't remember if they're about to say this in this or not. But when I first heard that Durk was actually like fleeing or going to flee the United States or like, you know, like, hey, they caught him. He was trying to board a plane, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. He was about to go. You know what I mean? He booked a flight here. He booked a flight there. He booked a flight everywhere. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I really, thought that Durk possibly got arrested. Because, see, they arrested the other 3 guys first. We got the news that they had arrested 3 people from OTF. I felt as if they was looking for Durk, they would have arrested him too. It would have been simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? I really didn't think that Durk would have been arrested last. If that makes sense to y'all. Just from like my experience of people being in like Fed cases and, you know what I mean? Like the street stuff where they go get everybody. Like, all right, we about to go get everybody going to jail, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. I felt as though that they would have picked Durk up at the same time as them. I feel like the reason that Durk got arrested is because he ran or was planning to run. I got some let me fix something real quick because I got some other breaking news too. I was kind of waiting on this. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Hold on, let me cancel that. I got some YSL news real quick that I want to put up. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Sunspeak, head case, SL state. Yes. All right, there we go. All right, let me go find this real quick. Let me see. YSL. All right, here we go.
Okay, my name is Quamarvius Nichols. First name Quamarvious. My last name Nichols, Nichols.
And Mr. Nichols, are you the same person referred to as Quamarvius Nichols on indictment 22 SC 183572?
Yes. Okay, my name is Quamarvius.
All right, give me a second. Let me find what I'm looking for real quick. We're gonna get this YSL thing going because there's some breaking news going on with that. They cutting these deals with these boys right now. So let's see what's bracking. Do anybody know what channel that's on? I know it's live somewhere. Let me see. All right. So they didn't cut a deal with a couple of these guys. Let's see if I can rewind it. All right. Here go one of them right here. All right, breaking news, man. We got the YSL trial.
Interruption.
Mistrial. Stuff popping real quick. Get that out the way. Let me see something. I need this over here too.
Now let's have him at the podium because he's going to have to take an active part in this entry. All right.
Okay, sure.
Sergeant, can you swear him in, please?
Raise your right hand. Swear firm testimony you give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Spell your first last name for the court, and I'll to the mic, please, sir.
Quamarvius Nichols. Quamarvious. Last name Nichols, Nichols.
Did you get that? Okay. Do you want to do it again? All right. Slow down. Your name. Spell it for this young lady right here.
Okay, my name is Quamarvius Nichols. First name Quamarvious. My last name Nichols, Nichols.
And Mr. Nichols, are you the same person referred to as Quamarvius Nichols on indictment 22 SC 183572?
Yes.
And are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No.
Have you had the opportunity to sign this indictment with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey?
Yes.
How old are you?
29.
And how far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
I did not hear you.
I got my GED.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Do you understand that in this indictment, you were initially charged with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were also charged with count 49 in this indictment, which is murder, which carries a sentence of life. You were charged with 2 counts of participation and criminal street gang activity, which was counts 50 and 51, which each carried a sentence of 5 to 20 years. You were initially charged with counts 53 and 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon under Code Section 16-11-133, which each carried a sentence of 15 years consecutive to count 1. And then you were also charged with count 54, which is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which carried a sentence of 5 years consecutive to count 1. Do you understand that is what you were initially charged with?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to go over and review the waiver of rights form with your attorney?
Yes.
And I'm going to hand this to your attorney. Did you sign this along with your attorney?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey, about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charge in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss this matter with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with his counsel and representation?
Yes.
And I'd include in there the counsel and representation by Ms. Westmoreland and Mr. Garland as well. You had a team of attorneys.
That's correct.
All right.
And they are all attorneys of record and have participated in this particular proceeding and negotiations leading up to this proceeding.
Thank you.
Do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you waive any and all defects with respect to the indictment?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, have you been arrested on all the charges in this indictment?
Yes.
And Mr. Harvey, the state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you know of any outstanding warrants that are related to these charges?
Not related to those charges.
Have you been advised of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge that you are pleading to?
Yes.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, a sentence of 20 years to serve 7 years in custody, balanced on probation.
Yes.
Do you understand that as a part of the negotiated agreement, the state will null, or dismiss count 49, which is the murder count, count 50, 51, which are the gang activity counts, count 53, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and count 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you understand that is the negotiated agreement?
Yes.
Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation?
Yes.
And the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those charges consecutively or one after the other?
Yes.
Well, there's only one charge that
so
a guilty plea is
I
being
was-
entered into, so
Under my breath to that.
there's no other sentence to run anything consecutively with
Right.
regard to this plea. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you understand that this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including the federal courts?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of your sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at a trial would, and that is true regardless of being advised by your attorney or anyone else?
Yes.
Do you understand that neither the court, your attorney, nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole, the Department of Corrections, or Board of Pardons and Paroles, and no one can guarantee parole no matter what anyone has told you?
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of a felony, which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison?
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand if you went to trial, you have the right to a trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you, and the right to testify or to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? After each right, I'll ask you to say yes or no if you understand. The right to a trial by jury.
Yes.
The right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
So Chad, he's pleading guilty to one of the charges though. I'm listening, but I'm over here trying to change the thumbnail.
The right to confront witnesses against you.
Yes.
The right to assist with counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at the trial of your case.
Yes.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
Yes.
The right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence.
Yes.
The right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence.
Yes.
The right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes.
The right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you're in fact guilty?
Yes.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, how do you plead to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charge against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have 4 years from today's date to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes.
And that can challenge anything about the constitutionality of the plea. It's not limited to voluntariness. Understand?
Yes.
And Your Honor, if this case were to hang on just a second, you also have so 4 years for that to file a direct appeal. You have 30 days from the date of sentencing, which is going to be today, and you have until the end of this term of court to file a motion seeking to withdraw your guilty plea. That doesn't mean anything like that would be granted you as well.
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, if this case were to continue with trial, Your Honor, the state would expect, as to this defendant, the state would expect to show that what has already come into evidence, that on July 3rd, 2017, as well as October 23rd, 2018, that this defendant is an associate of the enterprise of YSL, also known as Young Slime Life, and that he conspired to associate together with others for the common purpose of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. In furtherance of the conspiracy, this defendant engaged in the activities below. He engaged in activities that assisted with preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity to include murder, assault, and threats of violence. That this defendant preserved, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, appearance in videos, and songs demonstrating.
So this is one of the Quays that's getting sentenced right now. He's pleading guilty to one charge, and I want to say they dropped. I think I just heard him say that they dropped one of the like murder charges or whatever. But he is pleading guilty to one of the charges. All the rest of the charges was dismissed.
Allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf, and to obtain money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs. Your Honor, evidence has come in during this trial that on July 3rd, 2017, Mr. Nichols was located at 2612 Steele Avenue, which is in the Cleveland Avenue sector of the city, Your Honor. He was found inside of a vehicle. When that vehicle was searched, Your Honor, and this was in October of 2018, they found marijuana as well as sandwich baggies that would be used to package drugs, and there are also guns found inside of that vehicle. Also in July of 2017, this defendant was stopped during a traffic stop in the Cascade area, Your Honor. After being stopped, Your Honor, there was a consensual search of the vehicle that yielded powder MDMA, Xanax, as well as a loaded gun inside of that vehicle. Additionally, Your Honor, in July of 2019, Mr. Nichols was featured in a video with another YSL member, Shannon Stillwell, and Woody Lee. In that video, it was entitled Slap Talk. And in that video, co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell, while performing, makes such quotes as, "Me and my slimes are above the law." We know from the evidence that slimes is one of the terminology used by members of YSL to refer to themselves or other members of this enterprise. And then last but certainly not least, Your Honor, that in March of 2022, Your Honor, Mr. Nichols was found in surveillance video at a gas station at Windsor Street and Fulton Street here in Atlanta, Georgia. This was on March 14, 2022, during what the state would believe to show an onset of a gang war that really started in 2015 with the death of Donovan Thomas that carried on into 2022. In February of 2022, a rival gang member by the name of Rayshawn Bennett, also known as YFN Lucci, was stabbed at the Fulton County Jail in February of 2022. Information about that stabbing was made public at early part of March 2022, around March 3rd of 2022. Once that information was released to the public, there was an onset of retaliatory activity that occurred between March 3rd, 2022 and March 16th of 2022. That includes a March 11th homicide of YSL associates Christian McMiller and Darius Ford. It also did include a retaliatory shooting of a YFN associate, and then ultimately it led to a murder of Shamel Drinks, who we believe is a YFN associate. This murder occurred again on March 14, 2022. Mr. Nichols is seen on surveillance video at that BP gas station, as I just referenced earlier. He was at the gas station with YSL co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell.
Damn, man. Listen, just give me my time. Like, if I'm... somebody asked, do I think, will they let Thug out? Yeah, they gonna let Thug out, man. Thug coming home. They really don't have, like, Thug didn't commit none of these crimes. You know what I mean? Like, as you can hear, they got him, like, on video surveillance doing certain things and stuff like that. I can't remember what all they found when they ran up in Thug's house, though, but I believe, like, a lot of that stuff, you know, even if they did try to charge him with, like, weapons possession or something from what was at his house, I believe he could get out of this with, like, time served and maybe some probation if they charge him with that. But as far as, like, the RICO charge and stuff like that, RICO, yeah, that ain't sticking on. Thug coming home.
Mr. Stillwell was driving an Audi vehicle. Mr. Nichols came to that gas station in a Ford Fusion vehicle. You see both of them on camera together. While they are at that gas station, Shamel Drinks approaches that gas station as well. I think unbeknownst to Mr. Drinks, Mr. Stillwell was still in his vehicle, which is the Audi. At some point in time, Mr. Nichols got to his vehicle, the Ford Fusion. Once Mr. Drinks finished his business or finished handling business at that gas station, we know that there is a phone call between occupants of the car that Mr. Stillwell was in and occupants of the car that Mr. Nichols was in. That communication was to the effect of, you need to get on FaceTime. As soon as that conversation ensues, we see Mr. Drinks leave the gas station in his vehicle, and both the car that Mr. Stillwell is driving as well as the car that Mr. Nichols is driving both follow out of the gas station, following behind Mr. Drinks. Mr. Drinks proceeds down the street to the light at Windsor, which is right by I-20 in Windsor. Mr. Drinks is in the far left lane. The car involving with Mr. Stillwell pulls up to the middle lane, and Mr. Nichols' vehicle pulls up to the far right lane. This is all captured on surveillance video and surveillance camera. They are at the light for a moment. Then we see both this car with Mr. Stillwell as well as the car with Mr. Nichols drive through a red light, leaving the car with Mr. Drinks sitting at that light. About 30 minutes later, a Good Samaritan sees that car still sitting there, approaches the vehicle, and Mr. Drinks is now deceased inside of that vehicle. We had know through LPR readers that both Mr. Stillwell's vehicle and the car involving Mr. Nichols drive in the direction of 20 westbound and follow in tandem. 2 days later, when after the case is
like, does she really need to go over this whole damn case? Like, just get this man his time. He's been standing up there about 20 minutes.
Investigated and arrest warrants are taken out. On March 17th, 3 days later, Mr. Nichols is found with Mr. Stillwell at a Chick-fil-A gas station, Chick-fil-A restaurant. There is a chase, we'll call it a high-speed chase, but there is a chase through the city of East Point, and eventually Mr. Nichols as well as Mr. Stillwell are both apprehended after arrest warrants were ultimately taken out for the murder of Mr. Drinks, Your Honor. Given where we are in the case, Your Honor, we know that Mr. Nichols, we do not believe Mr. Nichols was in the vehicle in which the shooting occurred, but he was in this other vehicle. The state has made a decision to move forward with this recommendation for the RICO count, Your Honor, for count one.
Mr. Harvey, are y'all acknowledging a factual basis to the count one, the RICO count?
Okay, we are acknowledging a factual basis. There has already been evidence with regard to the July 3rd, 2017 drug event, the October 23rd, 2018 drug event. We categorically deny and contest any use of violence by Mr. Nichols. We don't agree to that underlying factual basis. We believe those two predicate acts that were committed by Mr. Nichols without any question are sufficient to meet the elements of the offense. The offense to which he's pleaded to, which is a RICO conspiracy. A RICO conspiracy requires proof that the defendant either conspire with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that would be drug offenses, or personally endeavor, I believe that's what the language of the statute says, to violate one of the substantive provisions.
Well, that's what the language of the statute says, but
Yes.
he is indicted in this indictment with conspiring, not with endeavoring.
That's correct. So we're talking about a conspiracy. We acknowledge the two events that he participated in. We categorically deny any other allegations.
The lawyer like, hold up. Now, this ain't what the hell we agreed upon.
Other than those two events that are sufficient for a factual basis. We categorically deny that we participated in any way in the unfortunate death of Mr. Drinks. We categorically deny any other charges to which we are, substantive charges to which we are not entering a plea, and that includes gang charges. This is a plea solely to a conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. But yes, we acknowledge a factual basis to that extent, Your Honor.
Understood. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, you have one additional thing to say.
Go ahead.
The factual basis regarding the nature of YSL is that the evidence has shown and will continue to show that Mr. Nichols conspired with others to participate in Young Slime Life through a pattern of racketeering activity, and multiple defendants and unindicted co-conspirators have committed overt acts to further this conspiracy, including drug sales, aggravated assault, and murder, also including social media posts asserting the violent nature of and asserted dominance of Young Slime Life, also known as YSL. And that concludes our factual basis.
And again, once again, we again categorically deny those representations. And again, the only thing.
So I think his lawyer just want to put it on record that they denying these things, and that he's not admitting to anything. And like somebody said in the chat, it's possible that some of these charges may be brought up in a different type of case. I don't know if it would be I don't think as because the state just squandered all over this case. They dropped the ball. They fucked up. But some people are saying that this may turn into a federal case once the state is done doing what they're doing. We'll see.
That is necessary to meet the factual evidence of a 1614-4C is proof that the defendant conspire with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that is subsumed by the drug offenses that have already been proven in this case, and to which Mr. Nichols has previously pled.
All right, thank you, understood.
Then you're going to approach with the waiver of rights form again.
Yes. All right, Mr. Harvey, have you reviewed with Mr. Nichols this plea of guilty and waiver of rights form, which the two of you have both signed?
I have, Judge, in each individual provision in that plea colloquy has been acknowledged and gone over personally with Mr. Nichols.
All right. And Mr. Nichols, have you had sufficient time to consider this guilty plea that has been negotiated between the state and your attorneys, and to discuss anything you wanted to about that with your attorneys?
Yes.
All right. And you understand, I hope, I'm going to ask you, that it is your decision ultimately, obviously with the advice of your attorneys, but it's ultimately up to you individually to decide whether you want to enter this guilty plea or not. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And you do want to enter this guilty plea?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Harvey, have you advised Mr. Nichols of the alternatives if he does not ultimately go through with this guilty plea, and the potential benefits and drawbacks of all of the other options?
Yes,
All right.
very thoroughly, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Harvey, is there anything that the defense wants to add to the record?
Judge, other than the statement with regard to the underlying factual basis, I would point out for the court that when Mr. Nichols filled out his form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta, and you know, we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old.
Golly, this got to be the longest, speech leading up to somebody getting sentenced. I never, can I sit down for a little bit?
And he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning, and he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom. He is an intelligent young man who I believe has a future. Every day we do a word of the day. We put a new word into a sentence. And I think this is in his best interest. I know that the courts will have jurisdiction over him for a period of time. So I ask the court, given who this young man is, and given our categorical denial of some of the factual basis, to accept the plea and sentence Mr. Nichols accordingly.
Mr. Nichols, is there anything that you want to say?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right. I find there to be a factual basis for the guilty plea to the RICO count one of the indictment, that being a conspiracy to acquire control or interest in money and personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity. And that is the only count that guilty plea is being entered for. The remaining counts of this indictment as against Mr. Nichols are being null pros by the state as a part of this indictment. I find, having heard the evidence up to the point of trial right now, that there is evidence of at least one overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy.
All right, here come the sentencing finally.
And that there is evidence that would fall within the required statute of limitations to establish this RICO conspiracy count. One of the things that we as judges are instructed by our Uniform Superior Court rules to do when we are considering whether to accept a guilty plea and whether to accept a negotiated sentence, and this is a negotiated sentence in this case, is to take into account whether giving leniency in sentencing is going to aid in ensuring promptness and certainty, or at least more promptness and more certainty with regard to corrective measures, whether the defendant, in this case, the defendant has acknowledged guilt and is accepting going to more promptness, and whether accepting and whether accepting the plea will aid in avoiding further delays, not just with regard to this case, but with regard to the entirety of our system here in Fulton County. And this plea does go towards doing all of those things. I am going to accept the plea as negotiated and sentence in accord with the negotiated recommendation. As I said before, find there to be a factual basis for count one of the plea. I find the plea to have been freely, knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered into by Mr. Nichols with an understanding of the consequences of doing that. And the sentence on count one is the sentence that has been negotiated of 20 years to serve 7, with the balance of those years to be served on probation. And so that, I don't know if there are any special conditions attached to this that y'all have talked about at all.
There are no negotiated special conditions in those, so there are none as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Okay. So with regard to the time that you are on probation, you need to stay out of all kinds of criminal trouble. Make this a birthday present to yourself and to your children and to your wife and family, that you will leave from here today and leave whatever you used to do behind you and take the next few years. You're going to have some years that are still to be served on this. You'll have credit for the time you've.
All right, I can't now. So what's going on right now is that they're waiting to see if the lawyers are supposed to come out and speak. It looks like they're about to possibly maybe come out. While we wait for that, though, I got it up on my phone so I won't miss it. But I want to get y'all some of this audio from the 6IX9INE situation. Now, 6IX9INE done been took back to jail. Y'all know he cooperated back in the day. Well, it wasn't necessarily back in the day, but it wasn't that long ago. But Inner City Press has some of the information. Now, they broke the news that he was actually arrested or detained. So let's see. How did this start? Let's see where they actually took him to jail at. Says breaking news: rapper Tekashi 6IX9INE, Inner City Press is informed, has been detained on alleged violation of his supervision or supervised release after cooperator sentencing in the 9 Trey gangs case. Will aim to live tweet his appearance before the judge. This is just the front piece of the paperwork, basically showing that defendant Daniel Hernandez was arrested this morning on an arrest warrant issued by the court hearing. Let me throw that in the title real quick, though. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to remember how. All right, so it just talks about the court hearing was today and what room it was going to be in and stuff like that. Violations of his conditions or whatever. All right. All right, let me see. And I didn't get a chance to say this, but I don't think that the case is as strong against OTF as is perceived by the feds. But anyway. All right, so it goes on to say, let's see, blah, blah, blah. The defendant Googled it, searched it online, maintained. Is this him? No, that ain't him. Okay. I think they tried to keep Tekashi 6IX9INE in the GEO cooperators prison like they did last time. He just basically talking about him not getting out. In the run up to Tekashi 6IX9INE presented in court this afternoon, 18 minutes. So I'm gonna go to the actual him actually talking and see what he says. So here we go.
City Press here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Monday, October 28th, 2024. Now, on the various beats that we're covering.
This was yesterday. This is yesterday. My fault, y'all. I thought he did a video today. Here we go.
City Press here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. We just live tweeted the detention hearing of Daniel Hernandez, a.k.a. Tekashi 6IX9INE, rapper, cooperator, previously gang member. He's been on supervised release. He's actually been down in Florida, but he, according to the judge and to probation, he's been violating his supervised release. Not only did he go to Las Vegas without permission, where he said, he spoke for himself. He said, I performed before 20,000 people. I texted them before I left. But seemingly dispositively, he was in the Dominican Republic in detention and then freed but not allowed to leave the country for some kind of a violent incident, according to them. He says he was extorted by the judge. That's what his lawyer, Lance Lazaro, said as well. Judge Engelmeyer, after a lengthy proceeding in which Tekashi 6IX9INE spoke for himself and said, "Yay, bro, I'm doing my best. My life is ruined. I got beat up in the gym as a cooperator." After that, Judge Engelmeyer has ordered him detained They mentioned the MDC, but they might try to put him in a private prison for cooperators like he was last time, Geo in Queens. And the next hearing is on November 12th, in which he'll either plead guilty to the specifications and be sentenced, and maybe the judge would be, he said he'll take into account all this mitigation and sentencing, or he'll dispute them and there'll be an evidentiary hearing on how he left the Dominican Republic, why he tested positive for meth. He said that's Adderall. There's a lot of things going on. You can find the thread, but for now, Inner City Press, we'll cover that.
What? Hold on. Did you say 6ix9ine tested positive for meth? What?
Sentencing, or he'll dispute them and there'll be an evidentiary hearing on how he left the Dominican Republic, why he tested positive for meth. He said that's Adderall. There's a lot of things going on. You can find the thread, but for now, Inner City Press, we'll cover that alongside Diddy, Eric Adams, and of course, the election. To be continued, Inner City Press. Okay.
Damn. That boy out here on meth, man. Come on, dog. All right, so there that is. We got that up. So he locked up. I see people was in the chat asking me about it. So, I definitely wanted to, give y'all a little bit of that information while we wait to see if the attorneys were going to come out or not. And we still waiting to see. Let me go to the video real quick. Yeah, look like the attorneys haven't come out as of yet. So we're going to keep that up. We're going to keep waiting on that just to see exactly what they're talking about and what's going on. See, I don't know if we'll get any information from Young Thug's attorney. I really honestly believe that court may either be in recess or over for the day. I think they're still trying to work out the actual terms and details for all the rest of the members. Please, I'm pretty sure the lawyers are looking for a total dismissal, as well as those charges that's being dismissed with or without prejudice, which is big because if they're not dismissed properly, then the state possibly could bring charges back up on the defendant. So I'm pretty sure they want those charges dismissed so they can't refile these charges against their clients, especially Young Thug, So I'm going to keep this open or up. That way we'll know what's going on. We'll see if we can hear. I really want to get this on there. But a lot of people was tired of this case. This case had drawn out for so long. I can't even remember, when the beginning of this case started. But we've, seen so many twists and turns. But they had all of these people that had allegedly signed all of these deals. And for the most part, nobody actually really took the stand and convinced me that the testimony that they gave was damaging to Young Thug. None of the guys who, a lot of people consider to be rats and telling, got understand and really said too much. I mean, we've had some pretty entertaining personalities take the stand. A lot of people talk about Woody when he took the stand, you know what I mean? But he wasn't really the only person. We can remember when Tick was on, I think his name, YSL Tick or whatever they call him. So a lot of these guys that took the stand, man, they took the stand and they took these deals, but the prosecutors gave these deals to these people and then couldn't even get them to actually provide the testimony that they wanted them to provide to try to paint this narrative or, get these, guys convicted for, said offenses or cases or whatever like that, man. So 7 years, we see Quay, one of the Quays just got 7 years. He had a 20-year sentence. He walked it down to 7. They did say that they would give him the remainder of time on probation. That's a long ass time to be on papers, but I mean, it's better than being in jail for the next 20 years. You feel what I'm saying? So, somebody said the funniest part of the case of them was Woody. Yeah, a lot of Woody, whatever. I'm from up north, so I'm gonna say Woody, but a lot of people pronounce it as Woody or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna keep that open. And I'm gonna see what else did we have on the internet while we covering that. We kind of went over a lot of the Lil Durk stuff. Lil Durk's son, though, and this, do I have this on our, is that up on our page? Oh, this is interesting. So, according to Chris Brown, or according to reports, Chris Brown had to break up a fight between Ray J and Diddy's kids over the weekend. It was a Halloween party. Let's get that up real quick. Now it says Diddy's sons was ready to fight Ray J. Now Ray J has been like really outspoken about this Diddy situation. I'm not saying that he's been speaking bad about Diddy. He just been on, like wherever he's gone, it's like he's talked about or been asked about the whole entire Diddy situation. Now Diddy's sons was ready to fight Ray J. They was ready to put hands on Cuz, right? Well, according to reports, Chris Brown had to stop the alleged incident. Now, according to this TMZ report, it says that Diddy's sons were about ready to get into an all-out fist fight with Ray J at a recent Halloween party, but their plans were put on pause thanks to an unexpected hero, which was Chris Brown. Now, sources tell TMZ that the rap mogul's three sons, Quincy, Christian, and Justin, got into a heated face-off with Ray J outside influencer Tara Electra's unruly agency Halloween bash in Los Angeles over the weekend. Let's get into it. Now, according to this article, it says we're told that when the party wrapped up in the early hours, Ray J made his way to the parking lot along with his crew, Amber Rose, and a manager, right? But was confronted by Diddy's three sons. Now, sources say that the siblings surrounded Ray J. Now, where the hell was WAC 100 or the rest of Ray J's security at when these kids surrounded him? Oh, man, I don't know what happened with the live feed, but anyway. It says that, get that off of there. It says that we're told things got heated between the men, with the group getting in each other's faces and chest bumping one another. It says sources claim that both Justin and Christian made it clear they wanted to fight Ray J. So these kids is ready to whoop Ray J's ass. Like, I don't know what, I wonder, is it going to say what Ray J said or did? Like I said, he been on a couple different interviews talking about Diddy or whatever. I don't know if, they're upset about some of the things he said. Maybe we need to go back and watch a Ray J interview to see exactly what possibly could Ray J has said that would piss them off so. But it says the incident didn't escalate further than this. However, Chris Brown, who witnessed everything going on from his car, rushed out and diffused the situation with Ray J's manager by pulling Justin and Christian away. Now it says we're told others also stepped in to mend the situation, resulting in no injuries. This wasn't the first time Diddy's sons confronted Ray J either. It says they're told that the kids approached him several times prior to discuss the singer's comments. We're told Christian, Quincy, and Justin were trying to fight Ray J on three separate occasions in different settings. So this ain't the first time that these damn kids blew down on Ray J. Apparently, they want this smoke with Ray J. It's apparent. And I just want to say this before I continue reading this article. It looks like the stream actually cut off for the YSL trial or whatever. So if we get any more live streams or something like that, we'll go back to that. But as of right now, I think that they actually might have went on the lunch break or something. All right. Anyway, it says we're told that Ray J has always been open to having conversations with Diddy's sons, though he was willing to fight the trio after they made disrespectful comments towards him. Somebody in the chat said, "Good job, Chris Brown." Was Ray J a victim? Now, Ray J possibly could have been one of Diddy's. I don't know. He probably was a part of it. I can't see Ray J being no victim. Like, Ray J short in stature and stuff, but Ray J ain't soft at all. Let's see. It says sources say Ray J still considers Diddy and his children family, so he refused to let himself get punked by little kids. We've reached out to reps for Diddy's sons, Ray J and Chris Brown, for comments. So far, no word back. Yeah, that's lightweight crazy, man. You know, them kids is. I don't think the kids is in a good place. For real. I don't think they're in a good place. I think that somebody is going to have to get around Diddy's kids and pull them in and get them to kind of like focus on what's going on right now with the dad. Like, none of this stuff that they're doing, like trying to fight Ray J, some of the social media stuff, I kind of, in a way, I really don't. I'm trying to understand the whole social media thing. Is it, a way of them like starting to create their own money, their own income or whatever? Because the wave is YouTube and streaming and stuff like that. But on the flip side, is this the right time to start doing that? Which monetarily it probably is, but how would this affect like your dad's case, or how would this affect y'all if some of these allegations against y'all come out? Will they be able to use this against you? Do you look kind of crazy to the public and people who possibly would end up being jurors or sitting on a jury trial if in fact you become a defendant in a case, especially a legal case, not a civil matter, but a legal case? So I really don't know. I really don't understand. I really don't know exactly what Ray J allegedly has done or said to these kids either. While we still on this page though, we was just talking about the Tekashi 6IX9INE situation. I went to Twitter, and we listened to what New York City Press or whatever City Press, whatever the name of that page is called, and he explained to us some of the things. I just want to see if this article says anything different. Or not. Let's see. So this says Tekashi 6IX9INE arrested for violating supervised release. He back in hot water. He was arrested today for violating the terms. TMZ obtained a court order revealing the rapper, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, was taken in custody Tuesday morning. We know that. He was already arraigned, so we know that. So basically, we know a little more information than what TMZ has up there. I just wonder how much time is he looking at. It says, as we previously reported, he avoided a hefty 47-year prison sentence by agreeing to cooperate with the authorities. So I wonder if he still has that type of time over his head or not, man. I'm not for sure. All right, but one of my lead stories and one of the things that I really want to talk about was Lil Durk's son. Now, Lil Durk's son actually made a post about his dad. This is his son, Zayden Banks. Damn, Zayden got 24,000 followers on his page. But this is Lil Durk's son, Zayden Banks, or whatnot. I'm not sure of his age. He looks young. He may be about 8. How old is Zayden? Let's see before we go over. All right, so it says Zayden Banks is 10 years old, according to the internet. But he made a post about his dad. And, currently, like I said, the dad is in jail or whatever. He locked up. People are saying certain stuff. But this is a post he made. Now, he actually used this actual video of the mayor being questioned about giving the money back. And let's listen to that before I read exactly what he said. Somebody else. Okay, so Air said that he's 11. Okay.
Yeah.
You have engaged with him. We've seen pictures of you standing with him. First of all, can we just get your reaction to the news of this famous hometown person who has an organization that's doing good things with kids being arrested in connection with this, and have a follow-up?
Yeah, well, look, I don't know all the circumstances and details around, these accusations. What I do know, though, is that Lil Durk's mission to build financial literacy for children across the city and making other critical investments for the children of this city, where his heart, has been. And I mean, there's no secret to the trauma that he grew up in and how he has worked to turn that trauma into opportunities.
All right, so basically the mayor hasn't thrown dirt to the wolves yet. He's basically giving him the due process of going to court or whatever. But this was what was posted on Zayden Banks' page, and some people in the comments have their opinions about who posted it and how it was posted or whatever. But maybe Diddy's kids can take a little lesson from Zayden Banks. So Zayden Banks says, I want to take a moment to stand up for my dad, Durk Banks. He has always dedicated his life to uplifting others and giving back to our community through his nonprofit organization, Neighborhood Heroes. Beyond that, he is a great father who has always supported and loved our family unconditionally. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zayden wrote this. Right now, he is facing challenges, but I want to affirm, that he has not been convicted of any charges and remains innocent until proven otherwise. During this difficult time, I ask for your support for him and all the good he continues to do. Also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the mayor for standing for my dad. His speech was well said and truly reflects the community's support for those who strive to make a positive impact. Now, the mayor said some pretty interesting things about Durk, man. And what people got to realize is that, and I'm not making no excuse, right? But when people, because y'all know we've been talking about this for a minute, you know what I mean? Like the last couple of days. And you got people who saying like, oh, well, why was Durk doing this and that? He shouldn't have been, he should have been this and that and this and whatever. You know what I mean? Like he shouldn't have been doing that. He crashed out. He's stupid. He dumb. Y'all know how people been talking. Some of y'all been saying the same thing. It's all good. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But some of y'all got to understand, like, some of the things that Durk has actually been through. This is his brother right here. This is D thing. Like, when we talk about Durk, man, we gotta talk about the people that's been around him that's died. And I'm not talking about like loosely associated people either. I'm talking about people that's directly connected to the man. I almost called him the brother. Here I go. Let me see. It gotta be a video like that you could pull up where you can actually see like how many friends that's passed away. Let me see. Because that's how many it is. I'm pretty sure everybody around Lil Durk died. Yeah, let's pull this one up. I might see the last time I did a video, somebody, like whoever it was, they came back a couple of days later and said, whatever. But look, I'm gonna play this video, and if they get mad, I just take it down or delete it out there. But let's check this out. I'm gonna show y'all something. I just want to show y'all like who Durk is, because a lot of people just know Durk is an artist. They don't know what everything that's been around. This is 3 years ago.
And almost anyone else from that area. But being at the top comes with its dark side, and all the beef that has helped Durk sell albums and increase his popularity has also led to the death of many people who are close to him. News broke out last week that his older brother, D-Thang, was killed in front of a nightclub in Harvey, Illinois, a city just outside of Chicago.
The brother of local rapper Lil Durk is dead after shooting at a club in Harvey this weekend.
Although D-Thang's killers are still on the loose and there's no proof that his murder had anything to do with Durk, fans automatically assume that D-Thang was another casualty in the ongoing war in Chirac. D-Thang is far from the person Durk has lost since blowing up. In the past decade, he's had to mourn the deaths of his cousin Newski, his manager Chino, his close friend King Von, his producer Turn Me Up Josh, and now his older brother. While rumors on the internet have accused Durk of being cursed or even sacrificing his own friends and family members to secure wealth and power for himself.
And there was just a few. We ain't gotta play the whole thing. There was just a few of the people that was closely around him that actually got knocked down.
But the truth is likely much simpler. When you build a career off of being a savage and dissing your started getting into trouble with the law and was arrested several times for gun charges while he was on the come up. If you've been following our coverage, Nunu or Newski was shot and killed while sitting in the car. Newski was also a rapper who was signed to Durk's OTF record label. He just started blowing up in the city with the track OC, which also featured Durk. But before he could really enjoy the success, he was gunned down while sitting in one of Durk's SUVs outside a shopping complex. Newski's death was rumored to be retaliation for the killing of another.
So basically, Durk had ran into a store. I want to say they was outside like a shoe store or something like that. Durk had ran inside of the store. Durk was actually in the store when they knocked him down. Now it's rumored that it was rumored that Melly was the one who did this. It's like hard for me to like go through some of this stuff because you know we could, it would be all day. It would be all day. But let me see. So this was Newski. Like this video says like an hour before it happened.
Finna get in traffic, man. Slide on bro them. Now I gotta keep my bitch with me. It's a lot of fuck niggas out here hating. You know, once you get on top, niggas feel some type of way. Niggas know how we coming though, man. We out here.
Now that was his cousin. Now, according to a lot of people, Melly did it. Now Melly is no longer here either. Damn, it's like a rabbit hole. Like if I start showing this, it leads to other stuff, man. But you know, basically, they claimed it. Other people claimed it. This is another person that used to hang around Durk, who eventually fell out with Durk, that actually ended up getting knocked down. But before he got knocked down, he made
them
this
left
video.
Chino. I mean Newski. They left his ass right here. You feel me? They left his ass up here on folks and them tweaking.
So apparently they was outside of a villa when 051 Melly caught him. Like I said, Durk actually, you know, was there at the time. So so my point in like showing you all of this or talking about all of this is like when we talk about Durk or when, you know, people say like, well, how could Durk had actually possibly went back and did this for these people, or why is he paying for this and that? If these things are true, it's possibly, and it possibly could be because of all the things and all the trauma that he been through his damn self in his life. I mean, we didn't grow up in Chicago. You feel what I'm saying? We didn't grow up there. We didn't go through some of the stuff that these kids done went through. So we can't even process the way that a little Durk is thinking. You know what I mean? So back to the original comments or statements, like we got a lot of people that was around Durk that's no longer here. Close people. Him and his manager at one time. Durk manager Chino. I'm pretty sure there's a video about that. I can't play this one though. I can't play Vlad be tripping about his stuff. Let me see. Durk reacts publicly to Chino get murdered in cold blood. Let me see if I can find something. Oh, DJ Academics. Here we go.
Man, laugh from Chicago, man, my city, man. And when you rock your drop, just know your neighborhood safe, man. Stay with Stop the Violence movement, man. Salute my fans, salute my followers. Let's get it.
Just did the jet skis out here in San Juan. Me and my baby, you. We had fun like a motherfucker. Jet skis. He's out here. Peace of mind, you know? I'm sick, but I'm still out here enjoying myself. Shit, I'm just living, nigga.
Now check it out, man, because this is getting the fuck on out of control. Because it seems one of the ops got one of the guys. Now, check it out.
Axe voice back then sound crazy now.
So, hours after meeting with Chicago Bulls basketball player Joakim Noah to talk about a anti-violence initiative, which, as you saw in the Instagram video before, Lil Durk was talking about a anti-violence initiative.
And the crazy part about it, Durk been pushing this peace or anti-violence thing for a long time in the forefront. Now, behind the scenes, whatever he got going on is whatever he got going on. But Durk been pushing this peace thing for a long time. This video, as y'all can see, this video is old.
Now, Lil Durk, his manager, which is OTF Chino, we've talked about him before, and a couple other people were there at Joakim Noah's downtown condominium talking about it. Now, pretty much later that day, or actually early this morning, OTF Chino, he went out to get something to eat, and he was actually fatally shot multiple times in the head and chest while sitting in a car on the 8400 block of South Stony Island. Listen, it's just Chirac, okay? Now, listen, man, because apparently he went to go get some food, and he went to the south side of Chirac with his girlfriend, and I'm thinking, well, what? The south side of Chirac, listen, you don't go there to get food. That's where niggas don't pack their lunches. Niggas smoke on packs for lunch. So this is, I can't even understand, but whatever. Anyway, apparently he went there. He was in front of a sub shop or whatever the case is. Apparently the shooter walked up on him and shot him in the face and also his chest while he's sitting in the car. Now, apparently they targeted him as soon as he arrived at the restaurant. Now, this is according to DNA info. Now, it's leading me to think all type of thoughts. I won't even elaborate on those thoughts. Just know this. Trust no one. Trust will get you killed. And you always got to realize a Negro is only as loyal as his last meal. Not only that, a savage is only as loyal as his last bite. Now, Chirac police, they're waiting to get more information from the people they're interviewing at the restaurant and around the surrounding area to see if anyone has any information that they could get some suspects in mind or at least in cuffs. However, no one's cooperating, as you could imagine. This is Chirac. And most likely, this murder will go unsolved. Now, he pretty much gets shot in the face. He dies later at the hospital. Lil Durk hasn't commented. And I mean, in the span of a year, he's seen two of his close comrades die, OTF Nunu and also OTF Chino.
In a year. This boy, like, Durk been dealing with, we ain't gonna talk about what's going on because somebody just pointed out to me, Air just pointed out to me, he said at one point in time, 20 people. I'm going to play it out loud on my phone so y'all can hear it real quick. Hold on.
How many of your friends do you think you lost to violence? You know, like 20.
20 friends.
Now one has to imagine that, he got to believe that the world is closing in on him. Everybody around him of significance is dying. That's not good. That can't be good. Because listen, man, OTF Chino, he was a business-minded guy. And to me, he was the business mind of OTF. The whole OTF operation, I think he was spearheading it on a business level. Now, he was Lil Durk's manager, of course.
Y'all don't think that would, like, drive you or influence you to be a different type of individual when everybody around you is dying?
Because he was definitely trying to position Lil Durk in better situations to stay out of trouble and to finally lock in a release date from Def Jam, which they finally did. Lil Durk's Remember My Name is actually got a release date of May 12th and is supposed to drop that day. Now, we don't know if that day will actually hold. But it leads me to another thing, man, because Chirac up-and-coming rappers, listen, man, I've heard a lot of people, they hit me up, they're like, yo, well, why is Chicago rappers getting blackballed? Even the next. Now, truth be told, man, I don't know too much about OTF Chino. I mean, I don't know if he was with the shits. I don't know if he was a gun most of these guys, they don't even speak English. However, OTF Chino, he sounded like a guy with at least some type of intelligence. Now, he was about his business, as I said.
All right. That's enough for that one. You know what I mean? Let me think. Who else? It's a couple other like high. Let me see. This is Newski was his
Hi and
cousin.
welcome back to yet another video of what really happened. In this video I will talk about OTF Newski, aka the cousin of Lil Durk. We all know that he got brutally murdered back in 2014 and that Durk was at scene. But I will get into some details of the murder and the reason behind it and how it happened. But before that I will talk little about his background and relation to OTF in the streets. Newski wasn't actually in the streets that much, by that I mean wasn't in no particular war or beef. He was actually a good boy growing up and—
Alright, we're not about to listen to that. Because that's cap. Let me see. Who else? Oh, the brother. And I got some information on that as well. So a lot of people, let me see. Chicago unaliving for hire. Should I say day center or community center? I could have said community center. Nah, not Durk. Hold on, y'all. I really wanted to read this one right here because a lot of people are saying that this is connected to Durk and Durk's brother actually passing. So let me see. Instagram. I saved it in my messages. Because when you read that paperwork, you actually see where they say, like, anybody that went against Durk or OTF, they paid to basically get them out the way. That's what was being said. Now, how true that is, I don't know. Where is that at, though? Justice, 2 men. Okay, here we go right here. All right. And what's the indictment at the bottom. Okay, listen. Now they said that people online are saying that this is what the feds was talking about. And we're gonna look at the news article first before we get into the paperwork. All right, here we go. Damn, I think you got to pay to look at this. Okay, this is Sun Times. I'm going to see if I can get through this without them trying to make me pay to look at it. All right, 2 men charged in alleged unaliving for hire slaying in Roslyn, Chicago, whatever. It says Anthony Montgomery Wilson, 24, and Preston Powell, 23, were charged in taking out Stefan Mack, 24, outside of Roslyn Youth Center in January 2022. Damn. And it says the 2 men are accused in the federal court of carrying out a for hire slaying scheme that left a man and a security guard wounded outside of the youth center in Roslyn early last year. So since the news article won't let me read the whole thing, we'll just go back to the police article, right? Damn, we got content. All right, so I got some more pictures of this too, right? But let's read this real quick. It says the Chicago 2 men have been indicted in federal court in alleged unaliving for hire conspiracy that resulted in taking out someone in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood. I'm sorry. Anthony Montgomery Wilson, 24, and Preston Powell, 23, both in Chicago, are charged with conspiracy to use an interstate facility in commission for unaliving for hire. Don't that sound familiar? This is the same charges that they just charged Durk with, right? According to an indictment unsealed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Chicago. The pair is also charged with an individual unalive for hire count, while Montgomery also faces firearm charges. According to the indictment and a search warrant filed in the case, Montgomery, Wilson, and Powell conspired with each other and others to take out Stephon Mack in exchange for money. On the afternoon of January 27, 2022, Mack, 24, was actually hit up when two gunmen emerged from a vehicle and fired several shots at Mack exited the youth peace exited the Youth Peace Center on Roseland in the 400 block of West 111th Street. A security guard from the center was also wounded in this particular incident but survived. So a lot of people are saying like this is possibly connected. Now, if it is, I don't know. But we have the paperwork. And it just, I mean, basically, like, it reads, I'm telling you, it reads very, very close. Now, I think one of the reasons why they are stating that these two, or one of these individuals on here, they're saying that he's actually the AJ. I want to say his name is Mike City AJ. The guy, Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ, and Mike City AJ. I want to say that they're saying that he's actually connected to Lil Durk. Some people say that there's other pictures that shows him in a video that Durk did in the Taytown neighborhood. And we'll get into that. I think there's audio or video of people talking about that as well. But basically it just talks about, you know, what type of straps they had, which that's crazy that they would even know the type of, you know, the type of straps they was using, the type of sticks they had or whatever. And it just goes into what the findings is. Y'all know we've been reading so much paperwork, we ain't going to read everything or whatever. But this is all that's in their indictment right now. Special findings. The allegations set forth in the counts 1 and 2 are incorporated here. The defendants, Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ and Mike City AJ, and Preston Powell, also known as Marley, 18 years of old at the time of the offense. It says their counts. It says what they were going to do is take dude out. And basically, you know, they're trying to say that someone paid them. Now, in this particular indictment, they haven't named any people that was conspiring or co-conspirators that helped the system in this particular situation. They actually didn't say a lot. Not a lot has been said in this indictment. It's under seal right now. So eventually it's going to come out. I'm just wondering, and this was filed back last year, October 16th, 2023. I just want to see when it actually does come out and all the details of this. Are they going to try to incorporate these two cases together? Now, along with that, we have a little more information on this. Let me see. Let me go back to my inbox real quick. Let me refresh that, John. Where is it at? The photos. Oh, damn. I can't. I need the app to. All right, give me a second. Damn, I wish I would have had, because I can't pull these up like that. So I'm going to send these photos to y'all. And in these photos, it shows the dude, AJ, a.k.a. Mike City AJ, at the AHA video shoot in Taytown. But I got to first send these pictures to my email because it won't let me pull them up in my inbox on Instagram. All right. Trying to work fast, y'all. Trying to work fast. All right. Got them sent over there. Let's go to this email real quick and pull these up so we can see what the hell going on. As well as lawyers for workers. Actually, he said some pretty interesting stuff about this case too. So I'm gonna play a video of him as well. Hopefully it ain't no copyright on his junk. I'm about to show y'all these pictures real quick. This is wild. I got so much stuff in here. Damn, I got a lot of shit in here. Yo, just open a damn picture. I can't even. There we go. Sorry, y'all. My computer running slow. I got too much shit open, I guess. Yeah, we can't see that. All right, there we go. Close that shit. Let me see if I can make it bigger so y'all can actually try to see what's going on. So basically this picture, and it's cut off. I wish I could have seen that. Montgomery Law, this shows the car or whatever. But this is actually a picture. Well, what's the Instagram page, man? I could just go to the Instagram page. Is this picture still up on Instagram, though? Because y'all can't actually see that. Can y'all? No, it's blurry. So this is supposed to be the individual right here at the scene of Lil Durk's, or this is a behind-the-scene picture of Lil Durk's AHA video. Apparently, he was at the video shoot. Now, people are connecting the dots, trying to say that this individual who got unalive was responsible for taking out Lil Durk's brother, detained. Now, the actual incident with him happened at a nightclub that he had a party at in Harvey, Illinois. It's like a city outside of, I almost called it Atlanta, but a city outside of Chicago, which is crazy. Let's go to detained's murder, though, real quick. It's been several people that was accused of doing that to detained, though. Like, it's another group of, like, where it's like one or two individuals, though, who they saying did that. So I'm not sure if this one person who allegedly got hit up is the alleged person or not, but check this out.
Which killed 2 people, injured 1 police officer in Harvey. That chaos started outside of a nightclub.
WGN's Kelly Davis is live at the Harvey Police Department headquarters with the latest. Kelly?
Good evening. Police tell me that Harvey police officers were doing routine safety patrols at Club O as it was closing when all this went down and multiple shots were fired. And then just 2 hours later, another fatal shooting. Police say they are now investigating retaliation. Club O is quiet this evening, but police say there was a chaotic scene at the strip club early Sunday morning. Multiple shots were fired and lots of weapons were found at the scene. Police say Dante Banks was killed when he was shot in the head outside the club just after midnight. Banks is the older brother of locally known rapper Lil Durk. The 32-year-old is also a rapper who performed as D-Thang. His brother has been silent.
D-Thang was not a rapper.
On Twitter since the shooting, but other people in the music industry are mourning his loss. Lil Reese, another Chicago rapper, tweeted, "Long live D-Thang. Love you, broski." Shortly after Banks was shot and about 500 feet away, police say Officer E. Muhammad heard gunshots and saw someone with a gun at the club. There was an altercation and the officer was shot in the thigh. A spokesperson from the police department says Muhammad was treated and released in good condition. It's unclear if the officer was targeted or if he returned fire. 2 hours after the shooting at Club O, just after 2 a.m., another fatal shooting here in Harvey. Police say 39-year-old Seneca Price was shot to death on West 155th Street. Right now, they do not have anyone in custody for these shootings, and they believe the follow-up was retaliation. This investigation is ongoing.
So, somebody else got knocked down that night. People have tried to, like I said, piece together if these events is like connected, especially that last situation that we talked about where the individuals, allegedly went and get back for whatever, for individual, allegedly had something to do with it. As far as Lil Durk's brother go, I really don't necessarily believe it. I really don't believe it. People saying a lot. There's a lot of bad information being put out there. I think Trenches News is one of the people who was talking about this real loud the other day, and I really don't watch Trenches News. Once I found out that Trenches News had. And it wasn't even that Trenches News had worked in the FBG Duck
Want to
case,
support me?
He wanted them locked up, right? That wasn't even an issue. I just have my thing is I can't let myself look past the fact that this individual allegedly was working for the feds for years prior to the FBG Duck situation. Now is his channel popping? Yeah, his channel is popping. Y'all can see the numbers that his channel is doing. He's definitely doing a lot of Lil Durk content. He definitely knows what's going on in the streets of Chicago way better than anybody else that's doing the YouTube thing does. He knows a lot. He talked about this case coming for a long time. He definitely talked about it. It was a Fed case coming on Lil Durk and them for a long, long, long time. But I really just can't get into people that covertly work for the police behind other people's back and set people up and stuff like that. If you're gonna be a civilian and you call the police on people, that's one thing. I have no issue with that. But when you getting paid thousands of dollars, you know what I mean, and you working for the police, but you still running around robbing people and be operating as a street individual. And he didn't necessarily come out and say that he was actually working in the FBG Duck case until the paperwork came out and it named him. People who was around that era and knew the things that he was around and the time and his age, a lot of people was that's him. People from Chicago were saying that's him. But until they actually came out and said his name, he never admitted that he was working for the police. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel a certain type of way supporting that. So I unsubscribed to his channel, a long time ago. That doesn't take away the fact that I think that he does have good information. But he was just over on Academic's page or channel, and he was just, talking about a lot of different things with Academics the other night, man. let's see. Ack is live right now. How bro knows so much. Academics reacts to old FBG butter clip on Lil Durk. It's deeper, explores the theories of get back for D thing. This is gonna be, that's a long ass video, academics. I can't react to that whole thing. Let's see. Damn, he did an hour upload. And it still got 250,000 views. Hey, Ack is the man. Listen, I don't care what none of y'all say. Ack is the shit, dog. He uploaded a video like a regular upload, not like a 10-minute video, not like a 15, 20-minute video. He uploaded a video that's an hour and 5 minutes 1 day ago, and it's already at 256,000 views. Ain't nobody fucking with Act, dog.
This pop feds believe Lil Durk paid to get these two people killed. Stephon Mack, who killed Lil Durk's brother D Thing. Now I never knew who killed Lil Durk's brother. Let me actually Google that and see if this is actually any true. Now I did say that I believe that
So I don't necessarily think that Lil Durk. I honestly don't think that those individuals was the ones that took out Lil Durk, brother. Let me see. Is he gone?
One of the ops. Okay, he took a picture right next to Vaughn, right? And this is the Vaughn murals. Goddamn.
And then talking about FBG Cash, but I can kind of.
You popped on over.
I can kind of go from here. All right, and I don't think the FBG Cash. I don't know. He got killed in a whole different area. That possibly could have been related. I don't know. But let's go to Flacco, because that's who kind of like put some of this stuff out here. Poetic Flacco from No Jumper. Let me see. And there's some misinformation about that. I think we might have reposted some of it too. So Poetic Flacco posted a couple days ago what Ack was just about to read. And it says that feds believe Lil Durk paid to get these two people killed. Stephon Mack. We just talked about the Stephon Mack situation. And then he says that was get back for Lil Durk's brother D thing. We necessarily don't know that. And then OTF Jam baby mom was killed because Lil Durk found out he wore a wire around him. Feds think OTF Jam is the key to putting Lil Durk away. 3 bodies. This mail carrier has a Facebook page. And I went to her Facebook page, man. Like, we gotta do our own vetting sometimes. And I'm guilty of this too, because I did, like I said, I did repost this, right? Let me see. Can I? Is it a way for me to open my Facebook page? Let me see. I don't know if I'm signed in to Facebook or not. But Flacco posted this, man, and I kind of like, I knew better than to just post it, because it was so wild. Like, the accusations is crazy. I'm gonna put that back up while we let that load up. The accusations in this post is so
Durk, you know you're wrong, Durk. You know you foul, Durk.
The accusations in this post is so crazy. You know, feds believe Lil Durk paid to get these two people killed. Stephon Mack, who killed Lil Durk's brother, D-Thing, and OTF Jam baby mom, who was killed because Lil Durk found out he wore a wire. This lady is married, though. Like, and I say lady for a reason. Let me move this out the way. Let's go over here. Let me see it. I might still be signed in to Facebook. Damn, maybe I ain't. Yeah, I'm still signed in. All right, what's her name? Octavia. Octavia Redman. All right, let me see. I found their page. I think this is it right here. Damn, they got a picture of her body out. That's crazy. This woman is 39 years old, who Flacco is claiming. So let's just go back and forth real quick. Flacco says the second person, OTF Jam, baby mama, who was killed because Lil Durk. I mean, you putting some crazy ass allegations out here, bruh. Damn, hold on. Oh my God, all this shit popping up. I'm sorry, y'all. You putting some crazy ass allegations out here though on Durk. Like, where is he? Where he at? There you go. Who Lil Durk found out he wore a wire, and the feds think OTF Jam is the key to. First and foremost, the whole entire thing about Jam allegedly wearing the wire came from a post that OTF Twin posted that didn't have. It wasn't even the same individual, bruh. Like the person who OTF Jam said wore the wire. The picture that he posted wasn't even OTF Jam. I said it all fucked up because they got me confused. I wonder, like, can I find that post again? Did he post that too? I think this is pre-Durk. Yeah, this is who I'm trying to think who else. Where else could I go to find that was private jet, arrested, wiretaps. Nah, that ain't it. I wish I could find that original picture that they posted. It was like a side-by-side picture, and the person who they trying to say was OTF Jam wasn't him. But at the end of the day, nobody has proof that Jam wore a damn wire. But anyway, on top of they don't have the proof that Jam wore a wire, they saying that this is his baby mama. This is not that man's baby mom, though, bro. This woman 39 years old, and let's just look at the photos. This is how old this woman is. If we could tell somebody's age by pictures they post, this is how old this lady is, man. This isn't a baby mama, bruh. This ain't no baby mama, bruh. These cats is crazy. This ain't Jam. This is, man, look at this woman. This is a grown-ass woman, man. This is not OTF Jam's baby mama whatsoever. No way, shape, form, or fashion is this her his baby mama, bruh. Nor did this just happened back in July. This ain't had nothing to do with no damn OTF Jam, man. But the stuff that people was putting out there is crazy as hell. Now, she was a love person. I went through her Facebook, and I did look at some of her posts and stuff. You know, people still saying that, you know, things are so different without her. You know, I guess she would always throw like Halloween parties and stuff, or costume parties every year. She was like a host for parties and stuff. Nobody's on here saying like, we glad justice for you. Durk is finally in jail for taking you out. None of that. It's all fake news, bro. Y'all cannot listen to what these people say. So this post, and I see academics was like reading about it on. I mean, and that not to Act's defense. Act was just, you know, reading the stuff that was online. He wasn't necessarily, you know, saying that this was true or whatever. He just going by what Flacco posted. Here we go. Damn. Got swiped by the ads. And it's 4:30.
The feds actually do indict people to kill everybody in Chicago, which, you know, I really believe that? I mean, I guess I don't know what to believe, but they're saying that the dude who alleged. All right, let me.
Stephon Matt. Steph. He's from Smashville and Melloway. You know.
All right, I don't know. Little documentaries that we just giving you. Anyway, I gotta talk to Flacco because I don't know if this is true, and also, you know, I mean, obviously we're gonna find out if it holds any water to see if the feds actually do indict him for a few other things. I do know people like they've been floating around the whole.
Now, again, I'm not saying that Lil Durk ain't had other people hit up, right, in the past. And they could be old. Now, if they was talking about like Mubu Crump, if they was talking about Crump, then that would be different. This is somebody that, like I said, was cool with Durk. Dang, FBG Butter talked about who actually killed Crump. That's crazy. See, they just be online talking. If they was talking about somebody like him, that would be different. This was an individual who used to be cool with Durk. You feel what I'm saying? And they fell out and they began to beef and stuff like that, though, man. But other than that, though, man, like, I ain't gonna sit up here and try to piece together how many people Durk actually tried to, you know, have taken out, or who I think he had took out and who he didn't. All I know is that when we talk about this shit that Flacco posted, I don't believe it. This is not, and then to go as far as to say that's his baby mama is crazy. Let me see though, what else going on before I get up out of here though, because I gotta get offline in a second. So yeah, we just posted that about the son or whatever. That's up. That's what's up. We talked about Ray J and the Combs kids fighting. I don't know who this rapper is, but it says he was from Tallahassee. He got killed in my state Saturday night. Baby Shark. Let me see. There be so many shootings going on in Columbus. It might be hard for me to. Baby Shark. Killed. I guess I can pull it up. Victim in the Victorian Village shooting was Baby Shark. I've never heard of him, though. The victim of a deadly shooting in Victorian Village neighborhood was popular rapper from Florida with millions of followers. Columbus police said after getting a 911 call from a woman who reported a shooting, officers went around 5 a.m. Saturday to the 300 block of West 3rd Avenue. They found 22-year-old Michael Andre Robinson, also known as rapper Rollin Styles, suffering from a gunshot wound in the area. Robinson was pronounced unalive at the scene around 5:10 a.m. Styles was born in Tallahassee, Florida, has millions of plays and songs dating back to 2020, and according to Spotify, his most played song was the remix of the popular children's song Baby Shark, which he garnered 32 million plays. Yeah, I don't know him. What's his name? Rollin Styles? I mean, I might just be old. You know what I mean? Like, that might be why I don't know who he is. I might just be old. I ain't saying he ain't popular or nothing like that. And rest up to him. People think that Ohio is like full of like farmland and trees and corn and all of that, but they said it was somebody tried to take something from him. In this video right here.
New details tonight. We're learning more about the man killed in a Victorian Village shooting early Saturday morning. We now know Michael Robinson was killed, better known as the Florida rapper Raylan Styles. Styles is best known for his remix of Baby Shark. 10 TV first told you about this shooting over the weekend. It happened inside a residence at the corner of 3rd and Neal Avenues. Officers say Styles had been shot several times. Now, they did arrest a man, this man, in the nearby area after the shooting. 24-year-old Mahmoud Hassan is charged with murder. Hassan was arraigned in court this morning. A judge set his bond at $2 million.
He like one of them Somalians from down there. Let me see.
Some new details just into our 10 TV newsroom. Mahmoud Hassan, the man accused of shooting and killing.
Yeah, he might be one of them Somalians from down there in Columbus. And I ain't even being funny. Like, they got a large Somalian community down in Columbus, like real large.
Another man in Victorian Village over the weekend was arraigned within the last 2 hours. His bond is set at $2 million. This incident happened on West 3rd Avenue. Police say they're still unsure of any motive for the shooting here. Hassan is expected back in court next Tuesday.
Wow. Hey. Trying to tell y'all, I be reporting on like all of this stuff outside of the state, but
New details tonight. We're learning more.
it be a lot going on in Ohio too. I just, I choose to watch what I do. Watch what I talk about. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm not getting out. I'm not actively getting out here and beefing with no damn body. You feel me? So yeah, I watch what I get myself into, man. Rest up to what did they say his name is? Raylan or Raylan Styles. I keep messing up his name. Yeah, hey, rest in peace to him though.
Campaign, the strategy they've gone for this far in the election with 10 days, 9 days, 10, 11 days.
Yeah, man. That's about it though. Let me see. Let me check my inbox real quick. I see I got a message real quick. Let me see what that said before I get up out of here. Oh yeah, damn! Did No Jumper ever get they? Did they ever get they what you call it back? They page back? I think No Jumper still out of commission. Yeah, I think they still out of commission. Yeah, it's a lot of fake stuff going on. A lot of fake. When it comes to that Durk stuff, it's a lot of fake pictures being made. Here go one that was just sent to me. You know what I mean? Just to point out what's going on. This is an AI photo. A lot of people thought that this was him. You know what I mean? In McDonald's. I mean, not in McDonald's, but in the interrogation room eating McDonald's or whatever. You know, so it's a lot of bad information being put out there, y'all. But with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out, man. I'll be back live again Thursday. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, but I'll be back live again Thursday, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, tuning in, man. Shout out to everybody in my chat, though. Let me see if some people in the chat room I ain't seen in a minute, though. Hold on, who that? Let me see. Oh, Nikki Lai. Okay. What happened to Chop? He was trending for a minute. Active shooter in Atlanta right now. I seen that news. I did see that. I did see that earlier. I was trying to get to that, but I wasn't able to get to it as fast as I wanted to. That's about it though for the day, y'all. Man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, tuning in with me. Not a lot of breaking news going on. I think when that YSL trial I think when that damn, I'm all in my inbox. I think when that YSL trial, when Thug actually get his time, that's probably gonna be more of a bigger story than Quay actually taking his deal. So, with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here and take care of my business for the day. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking out to me. Shout out to the rulers and the Rolex, man. Y'all know what y'all do. Shout out to my media team. As I always tell y'all, man, we trying to get that thing up to 4,000. So we did pretty good since the last stream, but we trying to get it up to 4,000 followers. So we at 3,883. A little short of having 39,000 subscribers. Like we like 17 subscribers away from 39. So, go over there, man. The ruler _ report, and join the gang, join the ruler gang, and follow us over on Instagram, man. You know what I mean? Ain't gonna hurt you to go over there and follow, man. Give me a follow over there. Support the media team. They doing a real good job. I don't know why that posted on here, but whatever. I didn't even mean to post that. I gotta turn that off on my Facebook. Let me see. Other than that, what's this right here? Yeah, other than that, man, I'll be seeing y'all again Thursday, man. Unless if YSL, somebody like a Thug actually, pleads out tomorrow, I'll probably do a short live stream between 3:30 and 5, so it'll probably be like an hour or so long. But other than that, man, I'll be back for a longer live stream Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And my media team is going to kill me for saying that because she knows that I'll be saying that I'm going to do this and then I don't go live. Other than that, man, it's